Grace, Stellar Tech signed the contract. The 2-year agreement, full product integration, it's done. Jack! 6 months ago, I was writing, "Hey guys, our product is literally the best thing." And now I have a signed 2-year contract with an international technology company. I don't fully have words for this. You don't need words right now. Just feel it for a moment. Okay, moment felt. Now, Grace, I need to produce a market analysis research report for the Stellar Tech board by the end of the month, a proper academic-style document with evidence and citations and structure, and I have no idea how to write one. Then today's episode exists at exactly the right time. Welcome to the Speak Bench, episode 26. I'm Grace. Jack has a research report to write, and I have something to tell him before we're done today. Let's start with the report. You have something to tell me. After the lesson. Hello everyone, I'm Jack, and I'm simultaneously the most professionally successful I've ever been and absolutely terrified about what Grace is about to tell me. Welcome to episode 26. First, what's different about academic writing versus professional writing we learned in episode 23? Both are formal, both avoid contractions. What's different? Academic writing has 3 specific features that professional writing doesn't always require. First, evidence. Every significant claim needs to be supported by data, research, or cited sources. Second, hedging. Academic writers never claim absolute certainty. They qualify constantly. Third, distance. Academic writing is more impersonal than professional writing. It removes the writer's personality even further. Hedging, what does that mean in academic writing? Hedging means expressing appropriate uncertainty, not saying this is true, but this appears to be true based on available evidence. Academic phrases for hedging: it appears that, the data suggests, it would seem that, arguably there is evidence to support the view that, it could be contended that. Instead of remote working increases productivity, I'd write, the available data suggests that remote working arrangements are associated with increased productivity in the majority of knowledge-based roles. That is academic hedging done correctly. You've moved from statement to evidence-based claim. You've qualified with in the majority of and knowledge-based roles. That is intellectually honest and academically appropriate. Now, report structure. A professional research report typically has 5 sections: executive summary, introduction, methodology, findings, recommendations. What goes in the executive summary? The entire report in miniature, 1 page maximum, the problem you're addressing, the method you used, the key findings, and the main recommendations. Busy executives read only the executive summary, so it must be complete and compelling. Methodology, that sounds complicated. It's simply, how did you gather the information in your report? Did you conduct interviews, analyze existing data, review academic literature, survey users? The methodology section explains your approach so readers can evaluate the reliability of your findings. And findings is what your research revealed, presented as objective facts, supported by evidence, not your opinion, what the data showed. This is where hedging language is critical. The data indicates, the analysis reveals, the evidence suggests. And recommendations is what you think should happen based on the findings. Yes, but framed with appropriate tentativeness, not do this, but it is recommended that, the evidence supports the adoption of, based on the findings, it would be advisable to. Now, one of the most powerful tools in academic English, nominalisation, turning verbs and adjectives into nouns. Nominalisation? Give me an example. Analyze becomes analysis, decide becomes decision, implement becomes implementation, improve becomes improvement. The language becomes denser and more academic immediately. So instead of, we analyzed the data and decided to implement changes, I'd write, the analysis of the data led to the implementation of several key changes? Exactly. The second version sounds scholarly, academic, like a board report. The verb analyzed becomes the noun analysis. The verb decided to implement becomes the noun implementation. Everything becomes more formal and distanced from the individual writer. More. Collaborate becomes collaboration. Apply becomes application. Invest becomes investment. Discover becomes discovery. Require becomes requirement. Every strong verb has a noun form, and academic writing prefers the noun. The collaboration between teams resulted in the discovery of significant market opportunities, requiring substantial investment in product development. That's excellent! 5 nominalizations in one sentence. Collaboration, discovery, opportunities, investment, development. That sentence could appear in a board report or an academic journal. Completely natural. Now, how to reference evidence in your writing. Even in a business report, referencing sources makes your argument more credible. I'm not writing academic papers with footnotes and bibliographies. How formal does it need to be? For a business research report, a lighter touch. You can write, according to a recent analysis by McKinsey, then your statistic, or research published in the Harvard Business Review suggests that, or industry data from Q3 of last year indicates. You're signaling that your claim comes from somewhere credible, even without a formal citation. According to recent industry analysis, organizations that adopt remote-first policies report a reduction in real estate costs of between 15 and 30%. Between 15 and 30%, that range is itself a form of academic honesty, not exactly 22.5%, but a realistic range that acknowledges variability in the data. Grace, can we write my executive summary? Live, right now. Let's do it. Tell me what your report is about. Stellar Tech wants to understand the current state of the B2B software market in North America, specifically user retention trends and what drives switching behavior between platforms. Perfect. Executive summary, first sentence, the purpose statement. This report examines the current landscape of the B2B software market in North America, with particular focus on user retention dynamics and the factors influencing platform switching behavior. This report examines the current landscape of the B2B software market in North America, with particular focus on user retention dynamics and the factors influencing platform switching behavior. That's so much more authoritative than, this report is about software companies and why customers leave. Yes, though both mean the same thing. Second sentence, methodology. The analysis draws on a synthesis of industry research, competitive intelligence, and primary market data gathered over a 6-month period. Synthesis, combining multiple sources into one analysis. That's a good word. Third sentence, key findings preview. Key findings suggest that user retention in B2B software is primarily driven by 3 factors: product integration depth, customer success investment, and switching cost architecture. Customer success investment. That's a nominalization too. Instead of how much companies invest in customer success, it becomes customer success investment. You're thinking in nominalizations now. Fourth sentence, recommendations preview. Based on these findings, it is recommended that Stellar Tech prioritize product integration capabilities and formalize a customer success framework in advance of full deployment. It is recommended that passive voice, impersonal, authoritative. Not, we think you should, but it is recommended. That is academic English. Impersonal, evidence-based, precise, distanced from the individual voice while simultaneously carrying more authority because of it. Listeners, if you write reports, essays, academic work, or professional documents in English, today's episode is one of the most directly useful we've ever done. Please like and subscribe and comment your academic sentence below. Rapid fire. Basic sentence, upgrade it to academic English. Go. We found that customers leave because of bad support. The analysis reveals that customer attrition is predominantly attributable to deficiencies in post-purchase support infrastructure. The market is growing fast. Available data suggests that the market is experiencing significant and sustained growth, though the rate of expansion appears to vary considerably across regional contexts. Companies should use this product. Based on the evidence presented, it is recommended that organizations operating in this sector give serious consideration to the adoption of this solution. 3 for 3. Every sentence hedged, evidence referenced, nominalized where possible, passive where appropriate. That is C1 academic English. Grace, you said you had something to tell me. I've decided to accept the university position. When do you start? 3 months from now, which means episode 30 is my last episode of the Speak Bench as we currently know it. 4 episodes left. 4 episodes left. And Jack, I want them to be 4 of the best episodes we've ever made. Not a goodbye, a culmination. Grace, this show changed my life. I mean that literally. When I think about who I was at episode 1 versus who I am now, the English is part of it, yes, but it's also how I think, how I communicate, how I present myself to the world, and so much of that came from you. That's what teaching is supposed to do, and that's why the university feels right. If I can do for more people what the Speak Bench has done, that matters. Listeners, I don't know what episode 30 looks like yet. Grace hasn't told me, but I do know this. If you've been here from the beginning, or even if you're just joining us now, these last 4 episodes are going to matter. Come back for them. 4 episodes: English in the media, negotiation, cultural nuance, and then the grand finale, episode 27 next week. Your challenge: write 1 academic sentence about something you know. Use hedging language, use a nominalization, comment below. We read every one. I'm Jack, from the Speak Bench, where real conversations meet real English. And I'm Grace. See you in episode 27. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. 4 episodes, make them count.